Hey everyone, I just got home from work today and I wanted to do a quick little video update since I've owned the Sherman Max for a full week now. I have 189.2 miles on the Sherman Max so far, and I'll tell you what, every mile has been a phenomenal pleasure. This wheel has not let me down. It's the most powerful, the most balanced, the most fun wheel that I've ever ridden. And I'm excited for many more miles to come. I rode my EXN to work today, and as I was riding home tonight, I decided it's time to sell this EXN because I can't think of any other time where I would prefer the EXN over the ride of the Sherman Max. What's the differences? The differences are just that the EXN is really jerky. It has a super unbalanced feel. I even have the modified battery in my EXN. You know, I put my friend Sheridan put another battery cell in like that spot that's like empty. You know, when you open up your EXN, there's like just like a hole where like a battery should be. And, you know, you can really feel how unbalanced it is. After I've been riding the Sherman Max for a while and I step on my EXN, I can feel like the EXN, like, you know, it's like every time like it turns, I feel like this unevenness. And when you start kind of getting to speed on the EXN, you almost ride like a little bit like tilted, you know, and as you ride the EXN, you just get used to that. But I'll tell you what, after riding the Sherman Max, I really feel that unbalanced feeling in the EXN and I don't miss it. I mean, that's a pretty big statement to say that after a week of ownership on the Sherman Max that I'm going to sell my EXN. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement. But I know it's the right choice because I just absolutely love this wheel. It's phenomenal. I've been using the Clark pad, the 3D Extreme Clark pads. I did take them off my wheel because I wanted to put I put the Velcro on, and when I did the Velcro, I did these 3 2-inch strips. And what I should have done is started at the top and done the 3 2-inch strips. So I had to add like another little 1-inch strip up here, just to help with the, with the pads sitting on the wheel properly. I actually rode with Sheridan's pads on the EXN today, and I'll tell you what, the Sherman Max combo with like a little bit more curvature, I still am not a huge fan of how much curvature is in the gas, but I do like a little bit of curvature in the gas, and especially in the brakes here. I do kind of like how it hugs my ankle, the back of my calf. So I do think that the pads have a lot to do with what wheel you're riding. A lot of people were kind of talking to me about like, oh, what pads they like and what pads they don't like. And pads are such a personal preference. And it also really depends on what wheel you're riding. So just because I like a certain pad wheel combination doesn't mean that that's going to be like your stoke, you know? So definitely remember that, you know, pad setup and accessories and even the wheel is all just personal stoke and personal preference, you know? But there is definitely, you know, a quality feeling and a quality build with this Sherman Max. And that's another thing I kind of want to talk about are like components, like just like how this thing feels, like the solid, you know, everything about it, like the lights, like I turn the lights on, bam. It's like I've never had front headlights like that. You know, everything about this wheel feels sturdy. It feels solid. You know, it's kind of like the opposite experience I had with the V12, where every time I looked more closely at a component, like on my V12, it was just either rusting away or like falling apart, or, oh, you know, they didn't put enough of this or that in it. With the Sherman Max, it feels like someone engineered this to be balanced. They put it together with quality components, and yeah, you're paying for it, But, you know, when we're riding on these wheels as serious riders, it is almost crazy not to invest money into a quality ride. You know, I mean, yeah, the Sherman Max is an expensive wheel, but the way that I ride and the fact that I ride, you know, 5-6 days a week, I'm willing to invest that kind of money into my ride. And I'm really excited about, you know, selling the EXN, having a little bit of cash in my pocket. And I do think that the Sherman Max V11 setup is going to be great. My V11's right over here. My charger got broken on my V11, so it's out of commission right now. And that's the reason why you at least need 2 wheels. You know, just something as simple as, oh, hey, my V11 got knocked over and like now I can't charge it, so I'm down to 1 wheel. It's like, always have 2 wheels around. You know, and I did seriously consider keeping the EXN around, but after riding it today, I can't think of any application where I would rather be riding the EXN over the Sherman Max. It's that great of a wheel. As far as accessories go, like I said, I've been using the Clark Pad 3D Extremes. They're definitely a larger pad, and you need that for the larger wheels. I've also been using the Clark pedals. You know, they have the 9-degree tilt when you add the shims into it, and it's been a pretty nice ride. Again, I do think that the little curvature with the Sherman Max is a nice combo. I would like to see less of it in the gas. One of my riding friends told me about these cool little knobs. I don't know what they are, but it's really cool because you can even like lay down the Sherman Max and like, oh, look at that. It's like a stand. So not only is it like protection, it's also like a cool way to set your wheel down when you're at a break. One of the guys at the Super 73 ride helped me on the fly put this fender on, because when I showed up, I didn't have one. I was getting some mud butt from it being wet earlier. I have been talking to some of the guys on like the, like what is it, Telegram or Discord chats about maybe picking a better tire or a more appropriate tire now that spring and summer is approaching. I'm thinking about, you know, getting more of a hybrid tire as opposed to like the straight knobby, because, you know, the knobby is like, the knobby is great for when it's winter out, but when spring and summer approaches, and with the Sherman Max, you know, I'm mostly like, honestly, like, oh, I'm mostly going to be doing street riding. You know, when I first started riding EUC, I really loved doing the trails, especially on that 16X, man, that King Song 16X. I could haul ass on that thing on the trails. I was constantly beating out 100-volt wheels on the third leg of the Friday night ride. Number one, because I knew the trail so well, but you know, that 16X, man, it's just so easy to like pop, 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 pop. You know, it's super maneuverable. And the EXN is kind of like anything but, you know, and you start getting into these heavier wheels, you really do have to throw your weight around. There's one thing that I just thought of that maybe could be improved on the Sherman Max, and that is the braking. Right now I have it set in medium mode, and I find that when I go to brake, I have to push into it a little harder, and it takes a little longer than I would like it to. But again, that's just kind of something like I have to adjust to. I had the same problem with the V12 when I first got it. I was really like, oh, the braking's not there. And I don't feel like it's as bad on any level, but it's just like one of the things like, oh, it would be nice if the braking were like a little stronger and happened a little more quickly. But again, overall, this is the most phenomenal wheel I've ever ridden. It has the torque, it has the speed like right out of the gate. You know, I am easing into the top end speed. You know, unlike a lot of the guys in my community, I really like to, you know, level up into, you know, each kind of category when I get a new wheel. You know, oh, let me like see how fast I can torque it off the line. Let me get comfortable, you know, going like 30. Let me get comfortable going a little bit into the mid 30s. And that takes like a little bit of time and a little bit of like growth and confidence with my wheel. You know, I'm not one of the guys who's just gonna like grab the Sherman Max and be like, oh, I'm going like, you know, 50, 40, in the high 40s with this wheel. You know, I don't even think I've touched 40 miles an hour. It will probably be, you know, a couple of weeks until I feel comfortable enough to go those kinds of speeds on a new wheel. You know, it's just my personality type. Oh, another thing I really like about the Sherman Max is like when I'm going to the grocery store or whatever, it has that King Song 16X handle, baby. Like right in the middle, super easy to maneuver. You know, it's like, it's not like the EXN. The EXN's back here, I'll just show you. The EXN has this handle where it's like on the side, and it is the worst experience to try to like maneuver the EXN with the handle. It's almost kind of like a joke, you know. So yeah, so I made the decision to sell the EXN high speed, so I'll be posting that in like the Portland, Seattle community, and I am really happy with the decision. So that's a quick little update on how things are going with the Sherman Max. I definitely love this wheel. I definitely am in love with this wheel, and it's like reignited my stoke. You know, I go through kind of ups and downs with the wheels, and, you know, especially after my experience with the V12, how I had kind of issue after issue. And then like as it was in the warehouse for eWheels to repair it, the eWheels Tucson warehouse caught fire. And like Jason was cool enough just to refund my V12. You know, I've kind of been at a lull, you know, kind of like, oh, like what's going on with my wheel? And then I got my V11 and I was kind of like back into like the 84 volt club. And I was kind of bummed about that. Like, oh, you know, like I bought a 100 volt wheel and now I'm back riding, you know, an 84 volt wheel. And then when I got my EXN, I had ordered the high speed, and I had gotten, and what got delivered was the high torque. And while the high torque wheel was phenomenal, I was missing that top end speed. You know, I wanted to be at the front of the pack. And when I got my EXN high speed, I was definitely stoked. But after riding the Sherman, like, oh, the magic is alive, you know, the spark, you know, like, oh, I'm like in love again. So I'm really super grateful, and this wheel has been nothing but a pleasure to ride, and I'm excited now that spring and summer are approaching here in Portland. You know, I can feel like the crew getting stoked. I can feel like, you know, how much fun we're gonna have this spring and summer, and everybody's like getting these new wheels, and it's gonna be nothing but a good time. So congratulations to everybody who's getting their wheels delivered this week. You're not going to be disappointed. I'm really happy for all of you, and I'm stoked to be riding with all of you. And I hope to be traveling again at some point so I can ride with some other like members and some new communities. There's nothing I love more than like riding with a new crew. It's super fun. So I hope to see you guys out there on the next ride. And enjoy your new Sherman Maxes, all of my people out there. And I hope you guys have a great time riding your wheels. I know that I do. So thanks for watching. Oh, please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. I think that'd be super cool. Thanks again. Bye.